Hi, hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the performance of contract, and this is one of the essential element of valid contract. And we can say that the contract is valid, that we should have a performance of contract. So here I'm going to talk about what is performance of contract and what are the types of performance and what are the essential valid of tender, like that. So what is the performance of contract? Performance means to fulfill the obligations of the parties, and just we can say that both the parties have to fulfill their obligation. Why they have created the contract? So they are full obligations. So simply performance of the contract means fulfilling of legal obligations created by the contract, that is the fulfilling of their respective legal obligations created under the contract by both the promisor and promisee. So when a contract is duly performed by both the parties, the contract comes to ending. So if the parties to a contract have done, they had taken to do as per the terms of the contract. Performance of contract, we can say like contract is to be performed. There are two types of performance, that is first one is actual performance and second one is attempted performance. So what is actual performance? That actual performance means the parties have done their respective obligations, that both the parties have completed their obligations, and the nothing is to do is said to be actual performance. So that is, it becomes the duty of the other party to do what he had agreed to do under the contract. And what is attempted performance? This attempted performance also we can say tender of performance, offer of performance. So attempted performance is a contract need not be actually performed. A valid offer of promise and performance is considered to be a performance itself. Sometimes the party who is bound to perform a promise under a contract is ready and willing to perform it at proper time and place. This willingness of the parties is known as attempted performance. So simply you can understand that attempted performance is an offer or a tender. So giving tenders and giving offers, you can say it's attempted performance. And we have some essential for valid tender. So these essentials are it must be unconditional. So always we say that if you are giving a tender, and it must be unconditional. So after the offer, and if you are making a tender, and you should not have any conditional one. So your tender coupled with the conditions is no tender. So valid tender of performance must be an unconditional one. That is, an unconditional tender is one which is accordance with the terms of the contract. And next we can say that it must be made at proper time and place. So we should have a proper time and place. A tender before or after the due date or at the place other than the agreed upon is not a valid tender. If the place is not mentioned, the rules is the debtors must find the creditors. Where no time is fixed, then it is valid to make the tender within the reasonable time. Then a person to whom the tender is made must be given opportunity of inspection of goods or articles. and a tender must be whole and not of the part, and that is an offer to perform a promise in part is not a valid tender. The tender must be whole and not of part. If the debtors offer to pay only the principal amount and not the interest, the tender is not a valid one. The part payment or part delivery of the goods contracted for is not a valid tender. Next, we can say that the tender must be in proper form. So that a tender of money must be in a legal tender money and not in any foreign currency. A person is not bound to accept a check, but payment by a check is a valid tender. The person to whom it is made is ready to willing to accept it. And next we can say the tender must be made to proper person. So that a valid tender must be made to a proper person, the promisee or his authorized agent. A tender of a performance made to a stranger or a third party is not a valid tender. And next we can say tender for the delivery of goods must be for the quantity and quality as stipulated in the contract. So that it must be by person who is in a position to willingness to perform the promise, and it must fulfill the delivery of goods must be for the quality and quantity as per the stipulated in the contract. Next you can say a tender made to one of the several joint promise has the same legal consequences as tender to all of them. This is that an offer to one or several joint promisee is a valid offer of performance as if it is an offer to all of them. A tender can be legally made to even one of the joint promises. For example, a payment made to a partner is deemed to be a payment to the partnership firm. So these are the some of important essential of valid tender. Next we are going to discuss about the contract which need not to be performed. This is section 62 to 67. Here I am going to tell you that a contract which need not to be performed, and these are the that I am going to tell you that four points, four things that we should not perform in that situation. These four situations. That is, first one is if the parties to a contract agree to substitute a new contract for it. If the parties to a contract agree to novice and additions, alterations, the original contract need not to be performed. For example, A owes money to B under a contract. It is agreed between A and B and C that B shall accept C as the debtors instead of A. The old debt of A to B is and comes to an end, and the new debt from C to B has been contracted. So that is first contract may not be performed. And second situation is that every promise may dispense with remit performance by the promisor in whole or part of may extend the time for the performance or may accept the satisfaction in lieu of the thereof. That we are saying that every promise may dispense with the remit whole in part in performance of the promise made to him, or may extend the time for such performance, may accept instead of it any satisfaction which he think it fits, and that the contract comes to an end, and that contract need not to be performed. And the third situation is So when a voidable contract is resigned, the other party need not perform his promise. Suppose if it is an voidable contract and we no need to fulfill the performance, no need to do that. And finally, when the failure of performance has been caused by the promise, neglect, or refusal of promisor will be executed. So that contract will be no need to perform. For example, A contract with B to repair B's house. B neglects or refuses to point out to A the places in which his house requires to repair. Here A is executed for the non-performance of the contract if A is caused by such neglect or refusals. So that situation the contract will not need to perform. Next I am going to discuss about by whom must the contract to be performed. That whom must be contract be performed. There are 4 persons can be performed the promise. These are by the promisor. So some contract must be performed by the promisor only. For example, A promises to paint a picture for B. Here A must to perform this promises personally. So it is done by only the promisor itself, that is by A. And next by the agent. So according to para 2 of the section 40, in that case the representatives may employ a competent person to perform it. That is, the contract which do not involve any personal skills or consideration can also be performed by the agent or appointed by the promisor. For example, A promises to pay B a sum of money. A may perform this promise either by personally paying the money to B or by causing it to be paid to B by another. And if A dies before the time appointed for the payment, his representative must be perform the promise or employ some proper persons to do so. So that is we can say that it may be performed by the agent, and then it may be performed by the representatives. That the legal representative of the promisor are bound to perform the contract. If the promisor dies before the performance, his legal representative become liable to perform the contract. For example, an A promise to deliver goods to B on a particular day and payment of ₹1000. A dies before that day. A's representative are bound to deliver the goods to B, and B is bound to pay ₹1000 to A's representative. That is here the promise is performed by the representatives. The next one, fourth one is you can say by the third persons. So when a promisee accept performance by the promise from the third person, then it can be performed by the third person. So what person can be performed the promise by the promisor, by the agent, by the representative, and by the third persons. So who can demand the performance? So who can perform the performance that we have discussed? There are 4 persons: the promisor, the agent, representative, and third person. And who can demand the performance? That only the promisee or his agent can demand the performance. That it makes no difference whether the promise is for the benefit or promisee or any other person. So under the certain cases, a stranger to the contract can be enforced to the contract. For example, trust, assigning, etc. For example, A promises B to pay ₹1,000 to C. A doesn't pay the amount to C. C cannot take against A. So it is only B who can enforce this promise against A. So only who can demand the performance is only the promisee itself, and our agent can be demand the performance. Thank you.